Us record. Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Debbie.
Hey, Mike. I just
I
wanted to
appreciate
say,
your inviting me to tell my story tonight. It is an unusual one for me. Uh, when I was younger, I thought I was king of the lake amongst water skiers. And one day a railroad tie got in the way of my head, and I managed to hit that with full force. And I've paid an interesting price ever since. However, that said, one must go on, you know. And not here long ago, before the elections, my wife, Audrey, had to attend a class. She's a voting judge or whatever. And she had to go to that. And I had a little bit later appointment with my neurologist. So we had a little timing conflict there. But we arranged for a friend to pick me up and meet her somewhere, and he could take me and Audrey on to the doctor's. And so we did that. And he picked me up and took me to where I needed to meet her and on to the doctor's we went. Well, before I got that far, she had left, and I decided I was going to have one more cup of coffee. And so jumped up and ran to the back of the house, made myself another cup of coffee, went back to the front of the house where the Lord has given me a beautiful view of his creations. And so I sat down to have my cup of coffee and watched the dolphins swimming in front of the house. And when I got up to go back to the back of the house and take my coffee cup back there and so on, when I stood up, I could not stand up. I fell forwards and I fell backwards and I fell right and I fell left and just, I had rubber legs. That's what it was like. And so I knew where I needed to go. I had a definite purpose. And that was I needed to get a shower. I'm one of those guys. But I needed to get that shower in so I could get on with my trip to meet Audrey and so on. But I wanted desperately to get to a chair in the bedroom, which was right next to the bathroom, before I did anything. So the only way I could do it was I crawled literally to the bathroom. I could not stand up for love nor money. So finally I got to the bathroom, stood up in the bathroom with my hands on each wall like this so I wouldn't fall, dropped the soap, if you'll forgive me. And the only way I could get it was to drop to my hands and knees, crawl to the soap dish and get it. And finally I got out of the bathroom and made it back to the bedroom where I sat down in the chair I was trying to get to. And as I said, I had a reason. I reached out and grabbed, I'm sorry, I don't have it in my hands, my sleeve, my eSmarter sleeve, because I knew that there was help there. So I sat down, grabbed that sleeve, put it on my arm and leaned back. And I kid you not, within 2 minutes, my problem was gone. Not just a little bit, not partially, totally. It was gone. So very quickly to end it, I've got my balance back, which is an amazing byproduct of that sleeve. It is. It's truly amazing. For those of you who are my age and have balance problems to begin with, this is a real blessing. But to finish up here right quick, we got to the doctor's office. She's a neurologist, and I wanted to tell her what had happened. I felt that was part of what we're dealing with. I have seizures amongst other things, and so I'm in and out of the hospital frequently. But so I told her my story, and her answer to me was, "Why didn't you call 911?" And I said, "Well, for a very good reason. I've made that trip several times." And I said, "The results are always the same. The doctor looks me in the eye and says, 'There's nothing I can do for you, but I want you to see a specialist.'" Okay, fine. So he sends me off to a specialist. The specialist checks me over and looks me in the eye and says, "There's nothing I can do for you, but I want you to take a pill that the doctor has that I think might help you." Okay. Well, again, to make a long story short, I knew that was going the wrong direction. And I said, I don't think that's the answer, doctor, but let me show you some information on what I used to get through this. And I pulled out a brochure from the business, very thorough in that area, gave it to her. She held it up, she turned the pages twice, sat back down and said to me, why didn't you call 911? I said, I don't think you're listening to me. I said, I didn't call 911 because that isn't what I needed. I needed the kind of help that I knew would work. And I took that instrument of balance and put it on my arm, and it hasn't left me since. And I haven't had any problems with balance or anything else related to it since that time. So that's my story. And I got to tell you, I thank the Lord every day for what happened.
Oh my goodness, Mike. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's, the Eat Smarter sleeve that Fox Life, has is amazing. And you are definitely a true testimony of that. And we really appreciate you sharing that story. May I ask you one more question? How young are you, Mike?
I'll be 81 in June.
Yeah, God bless. That's
Just
awesome.
a kid.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And we're going to end this little testimony. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing. Okay.